Recoup. Today is Monday, January 5th, 2026. This is the first Recoup daily meeting of 2026. I'm Sweets. This is Sid. This is our Monday daily check-in where we talk about what we are working on this week. I can kick it off. The quarter one goal is SMS and email client. So I am right now working on refining the email client so that it can be ready for us to share with our partners. And the task I'm working on today that I'll have delivered in the next hour or so is CC logic to be able to more intelligently choose when or when not to reply. Do we reply to this email or do we not reply? If it's if Recoup is directly in the to line, we always want to reply. If they're CC'd, we want to have a little bit more nuance, and so we'll use an LLM call to determine a Boolean yes or no, should we reply or not. Another thing I would like to start thinking about is making the original source email that people can send to simpler. I'm thinking about the call to action, and I just want to be able to put out a simple tweet or a post that's like, just send an email to X. And thinking right now of telling someone, just send an email to hi@mail.recoupable.com feels a little too techy. And so I think what I'm leaning towards is having like our hi@recoupable.com, having that auto forward to the mail.recoupable.com. That way we don't have to mess with the root domain DNS settings, but we are still getting that intelligence. And then once it goes into the mail.recoupable.com, it'll come back to the customer, and then it'll come back to the customer using our .mail.recoupable.com. But at that point, they probably aren't going to be looking at the URL. Thoughts, feedback? Want to jump into your site?
I would just make it agent@recoupable.com. Until we come up with a better name, like let's just call it the agent.
Perfect.
That way it personifies it from a hi.
You said it personifies it from a hi?
Yeah, from hi@recoupable.
Yeah. Agent.
Yeah, and then that also means that the SMS, the email in general is going to be changing from hi@recoupable to
agent@recoupable. I'll do that. I'll refactor all occurrences.
I agree, though.
Are you using the email client yet? I'm wondering, are you using the email client yet?
I tried it a couple times. I sent you notes in the feature feedback. Do you want me to open it?
I'm opening it right now.
Yeah,
email client. Yeah, I'll share screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, current. I replied to hi, asking agent to retry. I CC'd other humans. I received a confirmation, which requested things. Yeah, that's not gonna work. And then expected remove the confirmation before we announce the feature to the. Okay, yeah. Remove the. Right now you get duplicate emails. You'll get one from hi, and you'll get one from the actual one later on. The hi one comes first because there's less logic. So I need to remove that auto response that we originally did for our first instantiation of the email client. It's a good catch. And then I replied to hi saying deeper scan and only received the verification email back. That's weird. But did not send a deeper scan back. No new, if you expected. And you replied to this email, and then you replied deeper scan, and then it never replied back, you say?
Yeah, never got a reply back. Or at least I didn't see one back. So you could double check and make sure I'm correct.
It sounds like both of these are you talking directly to hi@recoupable.com instead of the mail.recoupable.com. Is that right?
Correct. And that is mainly because I'm only getting emails from hi@recoupable currently because we haven't switched.
Okay. Perfect. So yeah, what you said of refactor I'll refactor and all of our outbound emails to come from our outbound can come from agent@recoupable.com.
Yeah, and then forward agent@recoupable.com to agent@recoupable or agent@mail.recoupable.com.
Right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is a good thing for me to be thinking through, is the routing. So I'll get that done. And
Amazing.
is there other feedback, or do you want to jump in on your side?
I'll jump in on my side. That's good feedback. I read through your writing. Awesome fucking job. I think it's a great start. My initial question was, do you know if they have an API off the top of your head that we can pull that so that we can also host it on like research.recoupable.com?
Yep, they do, and I wanted to talk to you about that, so I'm glad you're bringing it up. I think it's cool that you built out the research page, and my thinking on publishing it on Paragraph is just, it's a suite of tools that I'm already familiar with, but like you said, integrating the API makes total sense. That way we curate a set of articles, and the only change that I'll need to make then is you or I will do a one-time integration so that we support my Paragraph articles, and then after that, it should just be a small pull request to add a new thing and a link to the article. That way, I make a small pull request for each new article that we want to put on that site.
Yeah,
Right?
I also think because I'm thinking through the same exact thing with my articles, is like I want to be able to write them and then I want to be able to publish them on our website, research.recoup.com. I also want it to be able to publish as like a LinkedIn article, an X article, like where it doesn't link to our site because that's going to get lower engagement, but it just exists as a LinkedIn article or a, so like,
right.
Like that infrastructure of just building that out so that you can write once in an IDE or something, and then it hit publish and it publishes to all of the places that we want to publish it to would be the ideal. So that's where we want to go. And then I also am like debating on whether to set, like ideally also it's set up as a newsletter system so that like people can give their email addresses, and then that like gives them a recoupable account, but it also adds them to our email, that so then we can just start to create an email, like a SMS or an email marketing service system. But we can do that down the line. It's not something that's needed right now. I think just like writing, publishing, and then figuring out the infrastructure that need be later, like as we build this out, is fine. Cool, awesome job on that, Mike. So I wanted to question a couple things about your quarter one, or just push a little bit. Or just ask the question about where does social client integration fall into the quarter one, quarter two, quarter three? Because you had mentioned label services. Like my biggest issue right now, not biggest issue, but one of the things that is preventing me right now from really getting value is being able to, like personally, like publish from Recoupable to LinkedIn. Because then I would just write all my posts and set it all up and have conversations with Recoupable, and then it would just create posts for me on LinkedIn, right? But then also thinking about artists, like creating content and posting them, and TikTok would be the artist version of that, not LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the business version of that.
Correct.
Instagram is second. But like thinking through like that I think is a huge lever. I don't know if that's a Q1 along with SMS and email, or if that's a Q2 along with the label services.
My current thinking is it falls into Q1, Q2, and Q3. Q1 being specifically these two clients. If we get these done, let's add in, prioritize any other clients we want during this quarter. Q2, content generation, like you just said, we want to be able to directly publish the content that people are creating without having to jump to another scheduling tool. So it would also fall into there. And then Q3 for label services also falls into there. Question for you, is it worth explicitly labeling a quarter as one of those, or is it worth changing one of the quarterly goals to better encapsulate the desire to prioritize clients in general or a specific client?
I would throw TikTok onto Q1. So it's SMS, email, and TikTok. And the reason being is because TikTok is the platform for music distribution currently. And so like without that, it's going to be hard to do label services.
Yep, that makes sense. Pulling up Composio right now to try to get a little bit more clarity on what one, do they support it, and two, which specific methods or tools are the most important to us from what they offer. Okay, let's look up TikTok. When you say client, you're talking about writing, right? Not reading?
Writing, yeah.
The ability to publish. TikTok.
Reading would be great too, but yes.
Well, yeah, we're reading right now on using Apify. I think Composio's for write. Okay, connecting, and then tools. Where's the tool list? Okay, fetch, get, list, post. Okay, so we can post a photo, we can publish a video, we can upload a video, and we can upload multiple videos. So it does look like.
Can you comment?
Can you comment? From what I'm seeing here, I do not see a comment. I'm seeing these 9 tools. 4 of them are posting. 3 of them are getting account information. 1 of them's listing videos, and 1 of them's getting the publishing status of a video. So currently, I'm not seeing. Do you know of any tools out there that do commenting on TikTok?
No, not that I'm aware of. I would have to do more research.
If you find one, let me know. That way we know it's possible and that they just are not doing it on Composio.
Cool.
But for now, we'll do uploading and publishing videos.
Yeah.
Copy.
I don't know what photo is, but we might want to add that too.
Yeah, that's. Well, I wonder if that's their carousels, because they might. I know that
shows.
Create a photo post, reference. Yeah, so something. Auto add music, stuff like that. Okay.
Yeah, I would add that. Auto add music is fire, because that way means that we could just also have
post a photo and then throw in a sound.
Yeah.
Well, in this is auto add music. Does that just mean it's gonna pick a random?
I think that's what auto add music is actually. Yeah, you're right. It's the like it adds it for you.
Is there a way to pick? See auto, brand content, brand organic description, disable comment, photo cover, photo images, post mode. Not.
But you're also in post photo. See for video.
Yep. Let me check. Publish video, finalizes and publishes. Caption and publish ID are the only 2 there. So let me check. Upload video. Caption, chunk, disable duet, disable stitch, file to upload, privacy level, publish. Why are none of you giving me a sound to be able to connect? That's definitely important. We'll start. My current question is Composio the right tool for TikTok client? Or are they fully representative of all the capabilities we could do? Or is there a better tool set that we could build TikTok client on to not recreate the wheel by us building it, but to get a more complete feature set of tools that customers might want or partners might want on TikTok, like adding a sound, which I'm not seeing right now.
Yeah, I agree. Adding a sound, adding comments, DMing.
Right.
But yeah, I would focus on TikTok because it's the one that everybody asks for. So
agreed.
We can crack that. All right, cool. So that was my other question. And then on my end, so interesting enough, over the break, I met someone who's like doing like an AI artist incubator. So I joined that. We had the first kickoff today. It was great. They had the COO of Oracle as a speaker. And I was like, how the fuck did you get the COO of Oracle? But apparently he's like a drummer and like really into like music and AI stuff. So that was fire. Met with him and this incubator. And it's really great because it's like 10 other AI artists and all different skill levels of AI, all different skill levels of artists. But the general like thing starting now is like kicking off a project. Where do we kick off this project? So like she went through like ChatGPT projects, Claude projects, it noted to me that she didn't bring up Cursor, she didn't bring up Claude Code, she didn't bring up Notion, although she's hosting everything in Notion herself, which was really interesting. So I told her, like, I'm going to run the project in Recoupable, obviously, but I also am going to create like a directory locally of the project and start building it out with Claude Code and Cursor, to just to have more insights and be able to do more than just like on the platform. But this goes to like what I've been like reading over the last 2 weeks, which is like this kind of idea where it seems like the engineering community on X has agreed that Opus 4.5 is AGI. Like, I don't know if you're following the AI XAI shit that's going on, but like Claude Code is all the rage right now, and everybody's like talking about like fucking even Carpathy's like, I feel behind. AGI has been achieved, and I don't even know how to fucking use it. So with that being said, the rage right now is like this idea of removing all the tools, removing all the bullshit, and letting Opus 4.5 via Claude Code in a virtual machine just run bash commands. And like that's what the agent is, and then building the harness around it. And so I don't know how much you've dove down that rabbit hole yet, but it seems like that's going to be the discussion of 2026, is like, how do we simplify agents and give them the right tools at the right time? And how do we like let them be more autonomous and make sure that like we know when we need a human in the loop and we are able to identify where they're making mistakes, etc. Anyways, I say all of this to say like it's a question about on my end, because like we're about to start the Gatsby Grace project with Rostrum as well. And the question is becoming increasingly like, where do I store all of the files? Where do we all say, like, they have some Google Drives, but they use it, but they don't. They have some Excel files. I have Recoupable, but we also have this. So like, I'm debating, do I just create a repo and like share the repo and then Recoupable? I'm trying to figure that. That's the whole thing right now. It's like, what is the platform? What's the best way to save shit? So and what is the best way to create an ontology, if that's the word, like that we can reuse across other projects? Like lyrics, you need lyrics, and then you need catalog, and you need all of like this ontology of like catalog and artist data and information, regardless of what platform it's used to store. What is what is it called, and where do we store it? Like, so that it's accessible for anybody. And I keep leaning towards like a repo called Gatsby Grace, and in it there's a directory called lyrics, and inside lyrics there's MD files of all of the lyrics for the songs, like, or images or whatever. But I'm really, that's the big question mark right now, is like, what I can store it all in Recoupable, but then like you need a Recoupable web app to use it, and I can't push it to Google Drive, and there's just, so yeah, that's where I'm at currently right now, is my thinking there. And it's like I'm thinking less about building it all out and more so just like, I'm gonna build it off platform on locally. I'm gonna see how far I can go with Claude Code and Cursor, and then I'm gonna try to replicate that in a way that like Recoupable can become the harness instead of Cursor, if that makes sense. You're muted.
Elaborated on is the question you're ideating on, right?
Say that again.
Where are files collaborated on?
Correct. Where are files collaborated on, and how opinionated are we at building that collaboration system for the music industry is a big question. Because if we're doing this with Gatsby Grace, and then we set up workflows for Gatsby Grace, and then we we then try to do it with another artist, but somebody names something the wrong thing, all of those workflows all of a sudden don't exist. Like they don't make sense anymore. So like we need to like update them. So it's how opinionated do we get for these kinds of things is my big question. The other, go ahead.
Are we going to build a better file collaboration tool than Google Drive?
I would, okay, I'm going to say it's less about file collaboration tool and it's more about naming conventions and ontologies and systems of record where like we know, like it's easy to say lyrics.md or lyric directory contains, you know, all of the lyrics of this artist, right? Mm-hmm. But if that doesn't exist across all systems of record, if somebody names it lyrics with an S or a Z, or somebody says lyrics for and then dash this album, like all of a sudden the naming conventions start to get fucked up, and then like you can like, you know, things just start to, workflows start to break at scale like that. So it's more like where do we need to get opinionated with our naming conventions so that it's modular, but it like makes sense for each project.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So that like we can also then say like spin up a fucking campaign and it like will create the files and folders necessary wherever, so that you can throw them in Google Drive, you can have them in your locally, you can have them in GitHub, like it doesn't fucking matter. But like I keep thinking of, it's funny, I keep thinking of like comparing what the music industry is missing are repos with files that like with, you know, like that like structure required to run an application, you know, and the music industry is missing like linting. Like imagine if there was like a music linter that said, oh, you can't launch this project because you named this incorrectly. Like those are the things that's why everything's so fucking combobulated right now.
Interesting.
So yeah, thinking through that. The other thing I wanted to say is that I'm getting on customer calls. I have some already documented, but I wanted to figure out a way where I can give you the transcripts of the customer calls so that in your own time, you can go through them and pull tickets from them. I don't want to give you the tickets specifically and say like, this is what you need to work on, but like, because I know you already have your roadmap, but I want to be able to give you the transcript so that you can pull information and dive in on your own time and figure out where and what's important and what's not, and what you want to write tickets for. Is there, should we create a repo specifically for that? Should we, like, where would you like to keep meeting transcripts with customers?
So far, I believe you've been sending them directly to me in DMs, and then I'll reply in that thread in the DM. Is that accurate?
Yeah, but it's easily forgotten about.
The recent times that you've sent it, has it gotten forgotten about, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And I feel like there's a better way to give you the ability to pull that information when you need to, or when you want to, like go and see what are customers saying, where are they getting stuck.
My current thinking is I just need to prioritize it more. If it's there, I just need to read it in the DM rather than building a better system around it. But you could also be right. I'm just trying to think how you would get my attention. Ideally, the DMs you send directly to me are the highest priority communication and that I have with Recoup. And if you're sending it directly to me, that should be my top priority. And now that we've got the stuff to read, it should clear out it should differentiate. These are articles. Stuff that would be nice to learn would be in the stuff to read. But if it's a customer transcript, it comes directly to me because you expect an action of create tickets out of this. Well, I just that.
I can save I'll create customer transcripts folder file then thing then. The thing is that then you just have to like pull it and then talk to AI. Like then you have to drop it in AI yourself. But I guess that's fine. Right. The question is, they're not all going to be high priority. I'll say that. Like, I know that's not what I want you to think. But like maybe setting a day or an hour, like a week or something, where you're like, let me review what customers are saying, and see if there's any tickets. And then you can put them into your roadmap. Like if I say, like, if I have a meeting with Alexis and she says, you know what would be awesome? I wish that like it could set this up for me. Like if we're talking about like, you know, a campaign, right? Like that's her saying like a problem or that a wish or whatever. That doesn't necessarily means it's fucking P0, you know, or P1. And I think that you can decide by like either talking to AI or reading the transcript yourself or however you want to do it of like, yes, this probably needs a ticket, but like where should it go in the priority list of tickets? We know the customer is asking for this, but I need to make this other thing before I can get to this, you know?
Right. The
So
channel sounds like a great idea.
Okay.
And then I'll leave emojis in the channel, and it'll be easier for me to locate where I'm dropping things instead of trying to scroll back through our DMs to try to find the last time you gave me a customer transcript.
Cool. Yeah, because I'll show you. I don't know if you can see this. Oh, I gotta fix that. Where is it? Oh wait, stop sharing. Is it down the other thing? Other screen?
I think I was looking at Cursor there.
Yeah, new window.
Are you using Claude Code in Cursor?
I got it. I've been using Claude Code in Terminal just to get the vibe.
Right.
Bro, it's fucking incredible, man.
You like it? Okay.
Dude,
it's fucking... AGI anti-gravity is okay, but I've been going back to Cursor as it's higher quality.
Cursor is better at pair programming. Like it is better at pair programming. Claude Code is better at it's like similar to Codex and like it's in the middle between Codex and Cursor. Where Cursor you're like in it. You're in flow state with it. Codex was like, okay, I'm gonna go off for 25 minutes and go do stuff. Claude Code is right in the middle where it'll think for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then like ask a question. And I don't know if you're like following the whole Ralph Wiggum's AGI thing on X right now. Search when we get off, search for Ralph Wiggum's AGI or search for Ralph Wiggum's AI on X and go down a couple rabbit holes. Because like there's this plugin that Claude launched called Ralph Wiggum's, which is like the Simpsons character. But like the whole idea is like it's like an autonomous loop like forever. Like so it's just like a constant loop of the agent. So like everybody's like that's like using that new plugin of like this is like Ralph Wiggum's as a loop plus Opus 4.5 equals like this AGI. Even like the Vercel guys were tweeting about it. They're like making like a Ralph Wiggum's agent tool loop that they're trying to put out. So like yeah, that's the vibe right now. All right, cool. That's everything though. I will. I was going to show you the Gatsby or the customer, the way I'm saving customer stuff now, but I don't even worry about it. I'll just add it to the Slack channels.